We'll see if that hourglass turns into that report real quick. Here we go. Okay. Now, when we're going to do this report, you'll see for each of the reports, there may be different types of options here at the top. I can select a specific member, or I can narrow it down by member type. So instead of selecting all, maybe I'm only interested in family equity and maybe junior golf. So you can select specific member types, to grab those individuals that you're looking for. Additionally, you can narrow them down by member group. And of course, member groups are things that are managed by your club. A lot of them are going to be groups set up for billing, maybe how you would bill your minimum information, etc. Others might be simple, who's a board member, who's in the book club, etc. So I can select board members as well. And when I view my report, it's going to bring up all of the people on my list that fit that criteria. In this case, there's 4. So 4 people have those member types that are on the board. If this is the list of people that I want to email, I'll simply choose the option, market these results. It'll say kind of an are you sure question, are these the people you want to email? And I can say yes. You'll see in our list, my 4 people are just checked in this list to view. And again, if I want to just view those individuals, I can change it to that as well. Okay. Now let's look at other reports that we can choose. Again, filter list by report results. I'll choose my looking glass. Let's look at something like items purchased. Give you a great example. We had a club last year find an extra case of wine when they were doing year-end inventory. They really wanted to offload it before the new year. So what they did is they looked up in ClubSoft all of the members that had purchased this particular kind of wine over the past 6 months. And then they sent a targeted email just to these members saying, dear first name, last name, we've noticed that you've enjoyed the Markham Merlot in the past. We've recently, put out a promotion that we're selling these by the bottle at such and such price. If you're interested in purchasing them for yourself or as a holiday gift, please contact so-and-so. So in that way, they really targeted the group of people that would be most likely to purchase that wine. Now here, when I run this report, it lets me run it for any date range. So I'm going to run it from, let's say, March 1st through today. I can be specific in terms of the area. So maybe I'm only interested in people who've bought this in the bar or the dining room. I can also limit the type of item. So maybe I'm only interested in people who have, again, purchased wine. Item category, I can say, well, red wine by the bottle or red wine by the glass. Again, when I narrow it down again, which item? Are we talking about the Columbia Crest Cabernet? Are we talking about the Arath Pinot Noir? I can be as specific as I want, or I can say any red wine by the bottle or by the glass. I can also limit member type. I can also limit member group. And then I can even choose how much they've spent. So maybe I'm only interested in people who've spent at least, $100 in wine over that period. Again, you could target a specific age group. If you're doing this promotion specific for your junior or your senior members, you could do that. And then, of course, the spending interval. So if I choose View Report, it's going to give me all the members between March 1st and October 13th who've bought red wine by the bottle or glass in the bar and lounge and dining room. And sure enough, they've spent at least $100 in total. Okay. So if this is the list of people I want to market, again, I'll choose Market These Results, click Yes to accept, and now it's selecting those individuals who purchased that red wine. Go and unmute the lines and open them up for questions. Are filtering members by a report, is that clear? Are there any questions or any particular groups of members you need a little help, learning how to identify?
I'm good, thank you.
Okay. We'll go ahead and continue then, and I'll just go ahead and choose the next option, go to the very next screen in our marketing wizard process. This, of course, is the area where we can design our email. Now again, the way that I recommend, the way that I train, is to actually have it created as a template. So step 1, we've designed our message. Step 2, we've gone to the marketing wizard. So at this point, we may just select an existing message that we've put out. And I'll pick on New Year's Eve here. At this point, you can still you can still fix typos, make any changes that you want, add any fields here that you want as well. And I would recommend, if you're focusing on targeting your email messages, be sure to make use of these options on the right in terms of making those messages very personal. Don't start your emails with Dear Member. Start the email with Dear First Name, Last Name. Instead of saying Happy Birthday to everybody who who has birthdays in October, say Happy Birthday, First Name, Last Name. We understand your birthday is blank birth date. It's nice to have those level of details in the communication. They feel a lot more personal, and obviously they're much more specific to the recipient. If I choose the next option, we'll pretend our email is designed and laid out the way that we want. The very last step of our wizard process is to designate who that message is from. And if the message is from me, again, I can change that particular sender. You can also put in the subject of your email. And I'd strongly recommend that the subject always be very specific. You always want your club name in the subject so that you can be identified. You also want to stay away from any gimmicky lines in the subject. For instance, things like act now, last chance. Those are typically the types of things that will get caught in spam filters. It's fine to have that type of content in your email, but in the subject you want to be very specific. So ABC Country Club wine dinner, or New Year's Eve gala, or registration opens for member guest tournament. Make sure that the subject clearly conveys what you're communicating to these members. You do have the option to carbon copy or CC someone. Often if I'm sending this on behalf of a manager or your GM, etc., I'll put in the carbon copy so they'll receive a copy as well. And then you have the option to send emails immediately, schedule them to go out. Perhaps we want to schedule them to go out, tomorrow morning. You can also send messages in batches, and this is for those clubs that are limited to how many emails they can send through their internet provider. We have a couple of clubs that can only send out 250 emails per hour. The system will go ahead and designate and split those up for you as needed. When you're done, you can simply select the option to finish, and even at this point we have the all-important "Are you sure?" question. We're about to send 19 messages. Are you sure you want to do this? We'll go and click yes. Okay. Again, it gives me an option to view members without an email address, etc. But overall, I'm looking at those details. Okay. And then you can close the wizard when you're finished. Now, 2 more things I'll point out before we open the call just for final questions. Once I send my email, I can actually refresh my campaigns. I'm going to go ahead and just change the create here. You'll see this message was created. There we go. Here we go. Actually, I'm looking for the one that I just did. I've already forgotten what we named it. Training test, I believe. So here's training test 1013. It was created by Joe's server. It was created on 1013, and obviously it's processing now to send and view those messages. But it's great that you're able to view those and see those results immediately. Additionally, you can look in the member record to confirm receipt as well. So if we go into any member record, and I'll pick on Boris Becker. You'll see when we look at that member record, we can also go into this area for messages, and it's going to show every email we've ever sent, when it was created, sent, when it was read, etc., and any type of status messages. So if you had an error because their mailbox was full or it was a bad email address, you can view those details here as well. Okay. I'm going to close this member record, and open the phone line up for questions once more. Any questions on this marketing wizard and being able to target specific members to send your messages to?
Could you touch on the returns when they come back?
Absolutely. The returns are actually going to be sent directly to the sender. So you'll notice in that last step of the marketing wizard, I made the sender of the email myself, sandy.schmieder@clubsoftusa.com. If there's a bounce back because it's a bad email address, or if it's any type of, again, mailbox full, etc., those messages are going to go to that sender. So they will receive a notification that something could not be delivered. It's important to take note of those and you do your best to kind of keep that member records, keep that email information clean. Again, people's email changes all the time. Typos happen. I remember, we recently had an issue with ClubSoft here where somebody had put in, yahoo.com, C-O-N, instead of yahoo.com, C-O-M, for an email address. Very simple. You'll make that update when you realize it. And again, those messages can be delivered successfully going forward. We also do have a new report that's coming out with the latest update. It's actually scheduled for release shortly. That you'll be able to run that report and see delivery results for any email message that goes out. So again, let's say we sent our email to 19 people. It was delivered to 16. 3 of them came back with an error. You'll be able to see that in that report as well. And then, of course, the third method, you get a call from a member that says, hey, listen, I haven't been getting those emails, you can literally go into their member record and say, well, Mr. Smith, we have your email address on file as this, and I'm seeing that it's bounced back because your mailbox is full. So you'll be able to see for that specific member any messages that have bounced as well. Does that answer your question?
Absolutely. Thank you.
Okay, great. Wonderful. Well, I appreciate everyone's participation in today's training. We do have a number of other training classes going on in the next few weeks, and I'd encourage you to participate for any other topics of interest. If you have any further questions on targeted marketing or other areas of ClubSoft, I'd also encourage you to contact our support team at support@clubsoftusa.com. And thank you again so much for participating. We'll probably be posting this training class online as a video as well shortly.
Thank you.